Previously on the war in Cali.
And he said to me, I don't want to be in the avenues no how. I'm going to go and I'll start my own gang. And I said, what you going to call it, you little crip?
To me, it takes more heart to be a blood than a crip, because we are outnumbered.
Selling a white powder from South America, which changed gang violence from street beefs to military gang warfare, and they called it crack. My name is Jeff Truman, and welcome to the final episode of The War in Cali. During the early 1980s, a new drug mysteriously hits the inner cities of America. We're talking New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, and Los Angeles. The drug? Crack cocaine.
It may not be capturing the headlines lately, but there's absolutely no doubt that people continue to use and get addicted to crack.
Inglewood took over a so-called rock house. Now that's a place where cocaine was being sold day and night. The police used cocaine they had seized to open up and start opening up shop again.
Los Angeles, 1980. During this period, gang violence was at an all-time high in South Los Angeles, and crack made it even worse. Cocaine wasn't that hard to find or buy, and turning it into crack was so simple children were doing it. The astonishing part of it was that the market and money behind it was so vast that gangbangers had no choice but to hop on it. This destroyed the already fragile African American community, where boys as young as 13 years old were making more money in a week than their parents made in a year. It is speculated that with the right drive and strategy, a smart person was making as much as $10,000 a week. That's $40,000 a month and $400,000 a year. However, this was the final nail in the coffin. Why, you ask? 2 words: arms race. With all that money, Crips and Bloods could now buy more powerful guns and ammunition that cost a small fortune to protect their street corners and the turfs where they sold their drugs, to protect their drug houses from cops and other gangs, and as a form of intimidation. Between 1985 and 1990, there were over 2,800 gang-related deaths. Because money was now involved, both Bloods and Crips became more vicious and ruthless, all in the cause to protect their million-dollar investments. With the government and Reagan declaring the war on drugs.
But let this much be clear. Our commitment to this program is unshakable. We intend to do what is necessary to end the drug menace and cripple organized crime.
To black people, it was a war on them.
There's gonna be a war on crime. To a black person, that means that's a war on black people.
When they say war on drugs, I say that's a war on me.
29th April, 1992. 5 miles away from where the Watts riots occurred, chaos was about to erupt. The chaos erupted after the trial of a motorist by the name of Rodney King, who was physically assaulted by 4 LAPD officers on camera who went south. The officers involved were acquitted, and this sent a message to the black community. The message was clear: the American legal system isn't there to protect them, and there is no justice for a black man or woman. So on April 29th, 1992, they took to the streets to seek for their own justice. And it was a slaughter.
Good evening. The race riots in Los Angeles dominate tonight's 10 Eyewitness News. 5 people so far have been killed and more than 100 injured as riots, looting and arson sweep across the city.
After 3 days of arson, looting, and over $1 billion of damages, the chaos subsided. The government and its flawed justice system was finally exposed, and the cries of the African American man and woman were finally heard. $6 billion. This was the amount of money set aside for an initiative called Rebuild LA. The goal for this private initiative was to establish systematic change in Los Angeles and create over 74,000 new jobs within the riot zone, in the following 5 years. At the same time, several Blood and Crip sets formed a truce with the aim to clean up the community, and this gave the people of South Los Angeles hope, a moment of optimism. Children were now playing in the parks. Grandmas could now walk the streets without fear, and just like that, the African American community was saved and they lived happily ever after. Is what most of us wish happened. After 1 year of doing absolutely nothing for the community, Operation Rebuild LA slowly disappeared into the night. The man yet again preyed on the innocence of young African American children, promising them a better future, only to slam the same door he opened right in their face. In the movie Boys in the Hood, which inspired me to create this series, Lawrence Fishburne had a point when he said,
"Why is it that there's a gun shop on almost every corner in this community?"
Why?
Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. You go out to Beverly Hills, you don't see that shit. But they want us to kill ourselves. Yeah, the best way you can destroy a people, you take away their ability to reproduce themselves.
Since there was no hope for the people of South Los Angeles, well, the killing started again, and it went unchecked for a long time. In 2022, LA was named the most dangerous city to visit by the LAPD, where the police themselves said they couldn't help the public.
My message to anybody considering coming to Los Angeles, especially during the holiday season, is don't. We can't guarantee your safety. It is really, really out of control. I said it to people before. It's like that movie Purge. Instead of 24 hours to commit your crime, these bad people have 365 days.
Gang operations went from South Los Angeles all the way to Beverly Hills. People were being mugged, shot over a watch and jewelry. Rich individuals were being followed to their homes where they were robbed blind at gunpoint. LA was not safe. Not to mention the homelessness and the drug problem that has plagued LA for years. Through all of this, there was a glimmer of hope though. Retired gang members took it upon themselves to educate the youth on the dangers of gang violence, and they set up programs like basketball to keep the youth away from the streets. NGOs started offering gang prevention programs in inner city high schools with the effort to save the next generation of children.
Your reward for gangbanging is to be crippled, lame for life. Your greatest reward is life plus 40 years. Your ultimate reward for gangbanging is death. And you don't come back from that.
What I would like people to take away from this series is that we should not look at our brothers and sisters as gangbangers, but as human beings who were betrayed by the same system they trusted. America has the resources to save these kids from the hood and give them a chance to make a life for themselves. To all the Crips and Bloods all over America, let's put down the guns, let's stop the killing, and band together collectively to fight for a better tomorrow. Because through the years, we've seen no one is coming to save us from the shackles that bind us. We only have each other. And if we ride for one another, a change can happen, and the black community can rise from its ashes. To all the people who we've lost along the way, let their deaths not be in vain. We can do it because black lives do matter. Not because a white man or woman said it on Twitter, but because once, long ago, we were kings with empires. And until we realized before the shackles were put on our feet, we wore crowns of pure gold. Before we realize that, change will never happen. Let's work together for a better tomorrow. My name is Jeff Truman, and thank you for watching The War in Cali.
There is no wonderful thing that you have withheld from us. Father,